Hey everyone, ready to level up your connection skills? We're diving deep into small talk today.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, doesn't have to be awkward, we can turn those little chats into
Into real connection.
Exactly. And you guys shared an episode of the Fluent English Vibes podcast
Oh, yeah.
all about making conversations flow so smoothly.
Of that podcast.
Me too. So let's break down their tips together. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay, so they made this point that really stuck with me.
Okay.
They said small talk isn't just filler. It's like
Oh.
the foundation for building actual relationships.
Wow, yeah.
Even those quick little chats can have a ripple effect.
That's interesting.
What do you think about that?
I think that's totally true. Because it's amazing how even those short little interactions can,
Yeah.
plant the seeds for something bigger later on.
Right.
I actually had this happen to me once.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I met someone at a conference, and we just chatted about travel for 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then months later, we ended up working together on this huge project.
No way.
It was crazy. So you just never know where those initial sparks might lead.
See, those are the stories that make me want to get better at this.
Yeah.
So the podcast had some good tips for getting started.
Okay.
They suggested easing into conversations with greetings or observations,
Yeah.
Like something relevant to the situation.
True.
This place has a great vibe, or how's your day going?
And simple, right?
Totally. But I think what really makes a difference
Yeah.
is following up with open-ended questions.
Ooh.
So instead of saying do you like movies?
Right.
Try something like, what kind of movie always makes you laugh?
Okay, that's way better.
Right. It just invites a deeper conversation.
It's like lets of a dead end.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like that. And they also talked about this F4D technique.
F4D.
Yeah, for starting conversations. It
Wow.
stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams.
Oh, that's clever. I love a good acronym.
Me too. But I'm wondering,
Yeah.
does it feel too formulaic?
I think
Too rehearsed?
I see what you mean. But I think it's more like
Yeah.
it's like a treasure map, not a script.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. So each letter is like a starting point.
Okay.
But you got to dig deeper with follow-up questions to find the real gold.
The bold being.
Their passions, their stories, the stuff that makes them light up.
I love that analogy. Okay, so let's break it down.
Okay, sounds good.
So for family, you could start with, do you have any siblings?
Yeah.
But to make it more fun, maybe try, what's the most hilarious family tradition you have?
Exactly. That's way more interesting.
Right.
And then for occupation, instead of just asking, what do you do?
Which can feel kind of boring.
Totally. Yeah. Ask them, what's the most unexpected thing you've learned on the job?
Oh, I like that.
Right.
It's like, tell me a secret about your work.
Yes. Okay. And for recreation, it could be as simple as, what do you do for fun?
Right.
But to spice it up a bit, you could ask them,
right.
if you could only do one hobby for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's like a fun little part experiment.
It is, and it forces them to choose, so you learn something about their priorities.
Exactly. And finally, for dreams,
Yeah.
we could go beyond what are your goals
Okay.
and try something like, what one thing you're hoping to experience in the next year?
I like that. It's future-focused, but still relatable.
Totally. So we've got the FORD framework.
Yep. But the podcast also really emphasized active listening.
Oh, yeah, that's crucial.
It is. But what are some specific things we can do to show that we're truly engaged?
Yeah, because it's about more than just nodding along, right?
Totally.
So pay attention to their body language. Are they leaning in, or are they kind of fidgeting and looking around?
Ooh, those are good signs.
Right. And ask follow-up questions that actually build on what they said.
Okay.
So, for example, if they mentioned loving to travel, you could say,
Yeah.
you mentioned loving to travel. What's the most interesting place you've visited?
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Because it shows you're not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Exactly.
You're actually absorbing what they're sharing.
Yes. And to get a feel for this in action,
Okay.
let's do a little role play like they did in the podcast.
Ooh, fun.
Okay. So we're at a networking event,
Okay.
and I'm Sarah, someone you've just met.
All right, game on. Hi there. I don't think we've met. I'm host speaker's name. What brings you here today?
Hi, host speaker's name. I'm Sarah. I work in digital advertising, and
Oh.
I'm always looking for new inspiration. How about you?
Oh, that's cool. I'm in content creation, so
Oh, wow.
we might have some overlapping interests there.
Definitely.
What's one thing you've learned recently that's really shifted your perspective?
That's a great question. A speaker just talked about the power of storytelling in marketing.
Okay.
People connect with brands on an emotional level.
Yeah, totally.
It was really interesting. Do you use storytelling in your work at all?
Definitely. I always try to weave narratives into my videos
Oh, cool.
to keep people hooked. What kind of campaigns are you working on these days?
Mostly social media stuff for lifestyle brands.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really fast-paced and the trends are always changing. What's been your favorite project lately?
Okay, wow, that felt surprisingly natural.
Uh-huh, yeah,
We covered introductions, work, and even our creative approaches,
yeah.
all in like, what, 3 exchanges?
I know, right? And notice how we kind of seamlessly transitioned between those FRD topics,
We did.
but we kept it engaging.
Yeah,
And by sharing a little bit about ourselves, we actually created like a sense of connection.
totally. I actually feel like I learned something about you in that short interaction.
Me too.
And the podcast also mentioned being mindful of body language and tone.
Oh, right, yeah.
What are some subtle cues that we can watch for
Mm-hmm.
that someone might be ready to like wrap up the conversation?
Okay, so if their feet are pointed away from you,
Okay.
that's often a sign that they're ready to move on.
Interesting.
Or if their responses become really brief
Right.
and they're looking around the room instead of making eye contact,
Okay.
it might be time to like gracefully exit the conversation.
So how do you do that? Like, how do you politely disengage without seeming rude?
You could just say something simple,
Okay.
like, it was great chatting with you, but I promised to catch up with someone else. Enjoy the event.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah. Or I'm going to grab another drink, but it was lovely meeting you.
I like that. You're acknowledging the conversation,
Right.
but also signaling that it's time to move on.
Exactly.
And even if that chat doesn't lead to a lifelong friendship,
Right.
it's still valuable practice, right?
Absolutely. Every interaction helps you build those social muscles, and you get more comfortable navigating all those different social situations.
I like that. It's like working out at the social gym.
Ha ha, exactly. It's like you don't even need a gym membership.
Exactly. Free workouts.
And it's not just for like formal events either.
Oh, you mean like...
Think about those everyday interactions.
Yeah.
With like the barista or someone in line at the store.
Right, right.
Those could be great practice too.
That's where I get nervous, though.
Really?
Yeah, those actually feel more intimidating to me than a networking event.
Oh, interesting.
Because it seems like there's less reason to chat, you know?
I get it, yeah. But what if we shifted our mindset a little?
Okay.
Instead of putting all this pressure on ourselves to like make this amazing impression,
Right.
think of it more as those like mini workouts for your social skills.
Okay, I like that. Low stakes.
Yeah. Just getting those reps in.
Just getting reps in.
And you probably find that most people are actually pretty open
Yeah,
to a friendly chat.
I guess so.
You know, just a simple good morning, how's your day going?
Yeah.
It can really brighten someone's day.
You're making me rethink all those missed opportunities. It's not just about networking.
Right.
It's about making those everyday moments a little brighter.
Exactly. And as you get more comfortable starting those casual conversations, you might find that it actually boosts your confidence in other areas of life too.
Really? How so?
Well, think about it. If you can strike up a conversation with a total stranger,
Right.
giving a presentation at work, or speaking up at a meeting,
Yeah.
that might not feel so scary anymore.
Makes sense. It's like cross-training for your social life.
Exactly.
But what about those awkward silences?
Ooh, the silences.
The podcast touched on active listening,
Right.
but sometimes I just freeze up.
Don't be afraid of the pause.
Really?
Sometimes a moment of silence actually lets both people think,
Okay.
and it can lead to like a more thoughtful response.
So it's not always about rushing to fill that void.
Exactly. And if you're really stuck, you can always circle back to
Yeah.
something they mentioned earlier.
Okay.
So let's say they talked about loving to cook.
Okay.
You could say, what's your favorite thing to make?
I see.
It shows that you were listening
Right, right.
and that you're interested.
That's a good reminder. It's not about having this list of brilliant conversation starters. It's about being present and building on the natural flow of the conversation.
Exactly.
But sometimes I worry about running out of things to say.
Oh, we've all been there.
Have you?
Yeah. But don't underestimate the power of genuine compliments.
Okay.
Like, I love that jacket. Where did you find it?
Yeah.
Or, that's such a cool phone case.
I guess it's easy to overthink it
It is.
and forget about those simple ways to connect.
Yeah, and remember, you can always ask for their opinion.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Like, have you tried that new coffee shop down the street? I'm curious to hear what you think.
Ooh, I like that.
People love sharing their thoughts and recommendations.
It takes the pressure off me
Yeah,
to be like super witty or something.
right.
And it shows you value their perspective.
Exactly. Speaking of perspective,
Yeah.
one of the most fascinating things about small talk to me is
Yeah.
that it's like a window into someone else's world.
How so?
Even in just a brief exchange.
Yeah.
You can learn about their interests, what they value, their experiences.
Yeah.
It's like getting a little peek into their unique perspective.
That's such a cool way to look at it.
Yeah, it's not just about filling time.
Right.
It's about expanding our understanding of the world and the people in it.
every conversation is an opportunity to learn.
Exactly. And that's where reading those social cues is really important.
Oh, the podcast mentioned that too.
hmm
How can we get better at
Yeah.
picking up on those subtle signals that someone might want to end the conversation?
You have to pay attention to their body language. Are they
Yeah.
making eye contact? Or are they glancing around the room?
Mm-hmm.
Are their responses getting shorter?
Okay.
If their feet are pointed away from you,
Yeah.
that often means they're ready to move on.
Interesting.
So it's about being observant,
Yeah.
but not overanalyzing every little thing.
Right.
It's a balance. And if you get the sense that things are winding down,
Okay.
you can always offer a graceful exit.
Like what?
You could say, it was great chatting with you, but I should probably let you get back to what you were doing.
Okay.
Or, I'm going to head out, but it was lovely meeting you.
Those are good. I like those. They acknowledge the conversation,
Right.
but also give permission for both people to move on.
Exactly. You know, sometimes the best way to improve at small talk is
Yeah.
to watch other people who are good at it.
Oh, you mean like people watching?
Ha ha, yeah. But not in a creepy way.
Okay, good.
But seriously, think about it.
Yeah.
You can learn so much just by observing how other people start conversations.
Oh.
The questions they ask, their tone of voice, their body language.
That makes sense.
It's like a free masterclass in social dynamics.
So I can learn by osmosis just by being out in the world.
Exactly. You could even apply this to watching movies and TV shows.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Pay attention to how characters interact in social situations.
Right.
How they use humor, how they handle those awkward moments.
It's like turning entertainment into a learning experience.
Exactly. Like those hidden messages in Disney movies.
But for adults.
Yes. And one big takeaway I've gotten from observing skilled conversationalists is
Okay, tell me.
they're genuinely curious about other people.
So it's not about trying to impress them
Right.
with all your stories and knowledge and stuff.
Exactly. It's about being interested in learning about the other person.
That makes sense.
That curiosity is contagious.
Yeah.
And it makes the conversation more engaging and enjoyable for both people.
That's a great reminder. Small talk isn't about putting on a show. It's about making a real connection.
Yes. And sometimes the most unexpected conversations can lead to,
Yeah.
the most meaningful connections.
That's cool.
It's like the universe has a way of bringing people together.
I love that idea. It's like we're all part of this big web of connections.
Yeah.
Just waiting to be discovered.
I love that. And it's not just about the connections we make with others, right?
Oh, right.
The podcast also talked about how small talk can help us connect with ourselves.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, when we have conversations, we often have to think on our feet, put our thoughts into words,
Yeah.
share our perspectives.
Yeah.
This
All right.
can help us clarify our own ideas and what we believe in.
It's like those conversations become a mirror,
Yeah,
reflecting back to us who we are and what's important to us.
exactly. And sometimes those little interactions can spark new insights
Right.
or lead us to new ways of thinking.
It's like a catalyst for growth and self-discovery.
Exactly.
Wow, I'm starting to see small talk in a whole new light. It's not just a social skill.
Right?
It's a tool for connection,
Mm,
growth, and even self-discovery.
it is.
There's so much more to it than I realize.
And the best part is,
Yeah.
it's something everyone can do.
You mean?
No matter your background, your personality, your social status,
Yeah.
you can have meaningful conversations
Well, right.
and make a positive impact on the world around you.
I love that. It's a good reminder that we all have something to offer,
Mhm.
and even the smallest interactions can make a difference.
Absolutely. And there's something really beautiful
Yeah.
about the simplicity of small talk.
Okay.
It's not about these grand gestures or profound statements.
Right.
It's about those little moments of connection that make life richer.
It's the little things. I
Yeah.
used to dread small talk,
Really.
but now I'm starting to see it as an opportunity
Yeah.
for growth, connection, even a little bit of magic.
I love that. And it's not about becoming like a social butterfly
Right.
or mastering some secret formula.
Right.
It's about embracing those everyday interactions with an open heart
Yeah.
and a genuine desire to connect.
Being present, being curious, being kind.
Exactly.
And who knows, maybe those little conversations will lead to something amazing.
I think so too.
You've given me like a whole new perspective on this.
I'm glad.
I'm excited to try out these tips.
Me too.
I'm starting to see small talk less as a performance and more as a way to spread a little kindness
Yeah,
and connection, you know?
I love that.
Oh, one more thing that really resonated with me from that Fluent English Vibes episode
Okay.
was when they talked about embracing those like unnecessary
Oh,
conversations.
yeah, I love that idea.
What do they mean by unnecessary? I'm curious.
So think about those little chats you have
Okay.
with people you wouldn't normally talk to,
Okay.
like the cashier at the grocery store.
Right.
Or someone you pass on your walk.
Okay.
A fellow commuter,
Yeah.
interactions that aren't like essential,
Right.
but can just brightens someone's day.
Oh, I see what I mean. It's like those little sparks of human connection
Yeah.
that we often just miss, you know?
Totally. We get so caught up in our own worlds.
We
And we
do.
forget to acknowledge the people around us.
Yeah, it's so true. So it's like,
It's like a mini workout
okay.
for your social skills.
Okay. Yeah.
And a way to just spread a little kindness.
Without any pressure.
Yeah, exactly. No pressure to like become best friends or anything.
Right, right. I'm loving this idea. Okay, so to recap,
Yes.
we talked about starting conversations,
Mm-hmm.
asking engaging questions, active listening,
Yes.
reading social cues, and now even embracing these, like,
Those little unnecessary...
conversations.
I love it.
I feel like I have a whole new toolkit now.
You do. You're on your way to becoming a small talk master.
I have so.
You got this. And remember,
Yeah.
the key ingredients are authenticity, curiosity, and kindness.
That's it. That's all it takes.
That's all you need.
Okay, so to our listener out there, I encourage you to try out these tips.
Yeah, please do.
Embrace those small moments of connection,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll see how they can really change your interactions.
Yeah.
And make your life a little richer.
Absolutely. And remember, even a short conversation can make a difference.
Yeah.
You never know what kind of ripple effect it might have.
What a beautiful thought to end on.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for being here for this deep dive into small talk.
Until next time.
We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration.